Unbelievable. All right, welcome back. This is MDawg. I mean, just logged in. It's just like perfect bream time. So let's fish for a little bream. I really want to go do some more spin fishing on Belaya, if I'm being honest. So we probably will do that. But, you know, it's overnight. We're not going to catch anything there anyway, and this is a great time to hopefully catch a few more bream, right? Yeah, this is about the right spot, I think. Was that 17 clip? I think so. I know we backed it off from 20. I think 17 is where we landed. We probably need to make some... new ground bait. We also might want to upgrade our feeders. I'm not sure that it has a huge impact on fishing, but I think everything kind of matters. And so we have those really crappy starter feeders. It's probably worth upgrading. Let me highlight the one change that we did make between episodes here. And that is to change hooks on 2 of our rods. So we're now, same setup, same ground bait, everything's the same that you've seen me doing last couple episodes that we fished for bream. But we're now using large 1 hook, and we did upgrade. And so this is the 4-star hook, but it's not the most expensive. Fairly affordable. Once you're fishing for bream, you can afford it. I'm hoping that we'll lose, less fish with that. And then on this one, we have that same brand, but size 6. So we're balancing size 1. Try to get as big a bream as possible with size 6, trying to keep that good bite rate. And then I just didn't want to spend the money on more than 2 yet. So we just have the 2 for now. So we'll see how this goes. This is our first night fishing bream in the rain in this series, at least that I remember. Definitely at Oldberg. I don't think we fished a night in the rain yet at Oldberg. Or unless I've just completely forgotten it. So we'll be a little more aggressive, and we're just going to hope that these nicer hooks will help us hold on to some of these bream now. Except on the 3rd rod, we're still using the cheaper Happy hooks. Is that a Roach? Nice. Is that what they're called? Happy hook. Yeah. The other thing I was thinking about doing, I don't know. Let me consider this. The other thing we could do is go during the daytime fish off of the, the little bridge down here. I don't know. I'm looking forward to fishing Belaya, but the more I've kind of thought about it, like, yeah, it's great for silver in a sense, bouncing back and forth. But if you stay for, like, bream, the best time of fishing for bream, which is, 7, 8 a.m. sometimes, you're sort of missing out on the early morning, which can be one of the best times to also spin fish at Belaya. So I don't know if it's worth just like doing a separate episode for each place instead of going back and forth. I guess in a sense, overall, we probably make more silver going back and forth, but I literally have no idea what that person's talking about. Let's make a little ground bait. But mostly what we need to do is just, like, how much of these do we have? 8. So let's make 5 just throwaway ground bait. We just got to keep leveling this up. All right, 6.3. We're getting there. Now, before I forget and get confused, let's Toss out all these. Okay. See if we can get another round of fish here. Then we'll go glance at the cafe while we're waiting on bites to happen. So our comfort has taken a huge dive here. I guess the hard rain, but that's impacting how fast our energy is going back up, I believe. We are using straight that almost looked like a roach. Straight across, we're using basic bottom still. Not we haven't gone back to paternoster on any of them at this point, at least. All right. Oh, we finally have a Bream order. Now if we can just catch them. Cash in 42 silver for 3 1 kilo Bream. Alright, we need to keep an eye on Yoka in chat. Supposedly Yoka is fishing for Bream at this same spot, but with a 22 clip. That's pretty different. We went closer in. They went farther out. So we'll see if they seem to be doing better. They're probably also using the ideal bait, which they should be saying they're, yeah, P-port. So they are using the ideal bait. Oopsie daisies. So it sounds like if you can get peep orage unlocked, this spot is really good even for trophies, according to what that person's saying. It's a nice one. We're on our way to the order. Yeah, we just got to keep chugging that tea, mostly for their comfort right now, if we want to keep digging. So what are we at harvesting baits? We're almost at 30%, and we haven't made sweet dough and wheat grains, at least not much. I guess that's another thing we could do while we're here. We've got enough silver. We could spend a little bit on crafting. Get a bunch of sweet dough, make it. Travel to Winding, get some wheat grain, make it. And then we just start cruising away on lots of semolina. Semolina give us a good excuse to come back to Berg and fish down in the pond area. Sometimes semolina is pretty good for Crucian gibble, that kind of stuff. Maybe get a little larger size. Either here or Mosquito could be fun. Work in some actual use for the baits we're crafting. Keep an eye on different spots from VK and other sites, see if something emerges. But in terms of silver, it's going to be hard to do much better than kind of hitting the hot bream spots at night, and then figuring out if you want to bottom fish or spin fish during the day. We're continuing to get points in our bottom fishing on bream, which is great. We will be at Classic Care before you know it. And then the next really significant one is 50%. I mean, we go 35, and then we're just kind of hanging out till 50 in terms of like stuff that's going to impact our moment-by-moment gameplay. Rain's picking up a little, I mean, letting up a little bit, I guess is the way to say it. Still getting points on digging, which is awesome, but not something you can count on at this point. Just occasionally might happen. So 2 more nights of work. Well, tonight. I'm already in the midst of it tonight. And then tomorrow night. And then Wednesday, hopefully we'll be able to stream again. Hang out with everybody live. I had thought about doing, like, actually doing an hour or hour and a half or so to start a stream. Kind of doing an episode of this. We may do that. I don't know. Thought about it. We'll see. Yeah, and I don't know how crazy work will be tonight. I'm really leaning towards, at this point, just letting this be an Oldberg episode. Around 8 or 9 a.m. we'll just go move somewhere else and then do a separate episode for Belaya. Not feel quite as rushed. I do think it's probably worth going back and forth if you're kind of being intense about it in terms of trying to get as much silver and XP as possible. But I've been wanting to go check the bridge down there, check out some different baits, see what things feel like, but I still just don't understand this rf4.info. Like, what? Like, I get that they're showing the cafe orders, but like, there's all this colors and stuff on the map. And I'm not sure what it's meant to show. Does anybody know what the different colors represent? And if we change it to like just one species, it doesn't change the colors at all. Is the legend down here? Am I supposed to? Those are the 2 colors that are being used, red and purple. I mean, that's not from our in-game map, is it? Is that symbol on there? No. So that's something they've added for this website, and I just don't really understand it. You know what I should do while we're sitting here waiting on Bream to bite is just check Discord to see in our Discord if anybody has posted anything interesting. Oh, wait. Hold everything. Someone says 8787 at Mosquito looks to be a common roach spot. Okay, hold on. And they are using pearl barley, which is something we have. $87.87. Let me see where this is. Straight down, I bet. I mean, I would have to like experience the spot to see like, is that a roach farm spot, or did they just get a random trophy out of that spot? I mean, a trophy roach sometimes can kind of just surprise you somewhere, but it may be. I mean, it might be worth looking at that. I wish we had seen that, been able to try that spot earlier. I think at this point it's a little harder to justify a roach farm, but it's not terrible. But I think when you're lower level, before you can start really aggressively going after Bream, it makes a lot more sense. Well, at least we got that order done. Just barely, by the way. We may get one or two more. This spot is very weird. I'm sure it would feel a little better if we had pea porridge, which is why we just need to bite the bullet and start spending silver on leveling up our baits. But with pearl barley, like, there's times where it feels like this spot is really like above average and manageable, and there's times where it's like, it's just too slow. We should be fishing for rough at Mosquito. We could probably do just as well on the silver, with cafe orders at least. But then you never know. You know, we might hit a trophy here, and then all bets are off. Ooh, this is like danger zone here. We're living at a pretty high friction break for this rig, but we're getting it in, so we're gonna do it. Very nice. That's what we want to see. So some of the things we want to do: upgrade feeders. What's the test on these, by the way? 20 to 100. So we could probably go ahead and put like 50-gram feeders on here. Get a bunch of ground bait out there. Is that a roach again? Nice. I don't think roach feel consistent in this spot, though, because if they were consistent in this spot, we'd see more of them on our pearl barley, I think. Oatmeal. Wait, what? Okay, we got to try oatmeal down there at the bridge. That's another decent one. So we got to try oatmeal. What size hook do we want to use on oatmeal to see about nice size Crucians? Maybe like a 12, 14, something like that. We got to try pearl barley because, you know, roach and whatever else. 2.3, that's the best one of the day. What else do we want to try down there? Cheese. Cheese on like a 4. But I don't think we have a 4, so maybe a 6. See if we see a Tinch. You go a lot smaller than 4 to see if you see a tinch, though. We could do like size 10 hook, maybe. Just hope we don't end up in a lot of grass carp or common carp down there with oatmeal and cheese. So I guess those will be the 3 baits we try first. Oatmeal, cheese, and pearl barley. Sometimes the best down there is just worms and bread. Keeping it simple. But I'm curious. I want to see what we catch on some of these like more interesting baits. Alright, this is the time. So we've gotten 3 more decent sized ones pretty quick. So we're up to like somewhat reasonable amount, I guess. Here's another one at 1 kilo, I think. Someone just said try 7150 for Tinch. I wonder if that's active again. It's kind of an old Tinch spot. And I don't remember what the clip was there. Alright, it's 8 a.m. I think we'll catch one more on one of our first 2 rods, and then we'll start heading down there. 29.4. Are we going to head this way out of... Yeah, we could come by here. We can do that. So let's go get a few things. Mostly groceries, I guess. I don't remember what goes in semolina. Isn't there semolina and something else that goes with it, perhaps? But we'll just focus on making some sweet dough. Wheat flour, milk, and sugar. Yeah, there's semolina. I think there's something you put with it, though. Wheat flour. How many are we going to make? 10? That's expensive on sugar. And then we're done with sweet dough, I think. Yeah, let's go ahead and get this. There's only a little bit of time left. So that's 42 silver. That's huge. Okay. We won't stay down there forever, but let's go try out the bridge for a little bit. I don't think we want to use... I don't think we're going to use size 6 hooks at all down there. I think that'd just be too slow a bite rate. Yeah, this is the right time to move. So this bridge, which is the second bridge, the first one is straight out of town, obviously, but this bridge is the newer one they put in, which is really nice. It's helped Oldberg not feel quite as awkward going to certain spots. Used to kind of leave town and then go all the way around to get to down here. Which, not that this is that much less time, but it's a little bit less. Every little bit helps. Not feeling like you're just running all over the world. This is the first zone that you kind of feel like, man, one fast travel point, one well-placed fast travel point would be really cool. I guess New Mosquito is actually walking around the whole circumference of it. Kind of feels that way too, but... Alright, so number one rod, we're going to switch everything to Crucian Gibble, I guess. And, we're going to try oatmeal porridge. I think, so I'm not going to do a specific clip. 16 will be the longest we go, but I think we want to stay a little closer here. So we'll just keep pearl barley on this one, but again, a lot smaller hook, and we'll go to Crucian Gibble. And throw it pretty close. Oh, I didn't buy cheese. Okay, so I guess we use 16. Let's do 14 with a worm and Crucian Gibble. We'll just get a feel for it. I mean, we'll have to try cheese another time. First fish on oatmeal is in fact a Crucian. And it came pretty quickly, so that's a good sign. Is it ever worth running back to get cheese? It's 10 in the morning. Probably not. It's not like Tinch are going to be super active the time we're going to be down here anyway. Alright, so there's the first fish on worm. And by the way, we could catch a random Tinch on worm as well. Cast out a little far. So the only one that hasn't gotten a bite is pearl barley. Maybe Roach aren't super active at the moment. I don't know. Down here. Is that a little Tinch? Yeah, so they are here. Oh, an oatmeal. Alright, so... it's time to make some sweet dough, right? We could have made a little bit more pearl barley too, but I think we're fine. Let's go ahead and get going on 10 more sweet dough. I think this will put us over the next spot. Yep, 29.6. Surely it will. So sure enough, oatmeal is catching Crucian and Gibbles right now. It's not always this effective at Crucian Gibbles, but bait preferences change, cycle. First fish on pearl barley finally. Yeah, so if we're catching Crucian on pearl barley, then we probably don't want to use pearl barley here. Just because it might be a little slow. Let's try bread. common roach may just not be in this spot at the moment, or not very much. So they're kind of everywhere, but they might not be super active right now here. There's a tinch on worm. I like it. Yeah, so I think using cheese down here might be interesting. You might catch some tinch. The only thing that you worry about is, are you going to also catch grass carp? Decent fish. Fatty Crucian in the middle of the day. Yeah, back when I leveled up for the very first time on my main account, this is the first spot I came to when I came to Oldberg, at people's recommendation. And I just wasn't... I'm not sure if Oldberg and Bream were quite as good back then. There also just weren't as many resources. We didn't know, like, every time a Bream spot popped up, we didn't really know where it was. This is scary. What is this? Ooh. Oatmeal doing some work down here. So, yeah, I mean... I kind of went from catching Crucian gibbles at Mosquito to catching Crucian gibbles at Oldberg. So it wasn't much of a change. Except every once in a while, you know, a carp or something might come disrupt your day, but why don't we just go oatmeal on more than one rod here? I think we've seen enough to... The only downside is worms might be a little better at catching tinch, but... Alright, so we can make semolina now. Oh, I think we want to go get a few pieces of wheat grain from winding and make it before starting semolina. But it would be worth buying the semolina here because it's cheaper at Oldberg. So that was good. We did get points on sweet dough past 30%, which is kind of what you want to do, kind of staying ahead of the game a little bit. So you don't get stuck just making one bait for too long, especially when you come up to these percentage points where it really is just one bait that you can make. Yeah, we're just doing bread and oatmeal down here and doing quite well. Lots of activity. Good place to continue to level your bottom fishing. Hit some random cafes. Use up ground bait so you are forced to make more and level your ground bait up. I bet you can trophy Crucian and Gibble in this spot. And we might just try to do that sometime, but I am too intrigued by this roach spot at Mosquito. We're gonna duck out a little early from here just to go try that for like a few minutes at the end here. The angler is full. I feel like there was like a random Crucian or Gibble order, one or the other, at Oldberg, so we might just be able to hit it. Depends on which one it is and the sizes. The problem with Crucian Gibble trophies in this spot is to have your best chance, and same with Tinch, it's going to totally interrupt your Bream time. So you kind of have to give up Bream for a day to see if you can get lucky hitting a trophy Crucian gibble or hitting some nice tinch down here. Maybe do a combination of oatmeal and cheese once we have cheese. Ooh, we did get a roach. Nice. There might have been a roach order too. Do we have enough roach to think about that order? Nah. It was at least 5 or 6 or 7. I don't remember what it was. Well, part of the fun of this game is variety, the variety of fishing you do in this game. And I feel like this leveling series, we have embraced the variety a little more than other ones because of how early we got into spin fishing. And we did do quite a bit of float fishing in the beginning, more so than usual. We're up to 15.4%. I'm not super interested in float fishing other than like Bleak at Winding, Bleak at Belaya. But then once you get to Seversky, which is 22, then some more interesting float fishing starts to pop up with even more extreme examples of that being at Tunguska and even Aktuba at higher levels. Okay, I think we want to, I mean, we've gotten a good feel for this spot. We know the tinch are here. We just got to figure out, can we catch bigger tinch on like the right baits? So I think let's just catch a fish or two more, start pulling them in. And that way we have a chance to see how the roach spot at Mosquito actually feels. If it really is a roach spot. What size hook were they using? Large one. Wow. To use a large one hook for roach is interesting. Well, that worked out perfect. All right, we got some fishing in at the bridge. We finally accomplished it. I think that was good. I would like to come back and get a little more in here. You can actually, it's one of those spots that it's so active. If you're really like wanting to go for filling your net up, actually catching 100 fish, it's probably one of those spots early on that you can do it more quickly than most. It's almost always active. It may be like slightly, it might be a little more or less active on certain things like Tinch or Carp or whatever, but you can pretty much always catch Crucian gibble roach there at a very active pace. So it's one of those volume fishing spots. And if you see the cafe has a bunch of just random Crucian gibble, roach, sleeper, you know, all those kinds of fish orders, and you want to just go do some fun volume fishing and hit a few of those orders, that's one of those spots that's really nice. Nice to do. All right, so what do we want to get here? Oh yeah, semolina. We need to see what we need for semolina. All right, so, oh, we just need 5. We're just 1 off, but that's only 6 silver. Are we really worried about that? I don't think so. We do get this 5 silver gibble order because those would have been worth nothing. And maybe an order changed. I'm pretty sure there was a Crucian. I might be remembering wrong, though. I guess I'm probably remembering wrong. All right. So what are the rest of our fish worth? Does it add up to something? Okay. Oh, 83 more silver. Holy cow. That's even better than I thought. Okay. So semolina, we need semolina, milk, cheap milk is still fine, and sugar. So let's get like, since we have a little bit of cash, let's do 20 of each. 10, 20, semolina. Where's the semolina? We'll need more than this, but this will get us started. And then the expensive part is the sugar. 43 silver. Oof, that hurts, but listen, you got to do it, right? So might as well do it. Try not to think about it, just do it. And now we want to go to winding to get the wheat for the wheat grain. And then we want to go try to catch a couple roach before we end this episode. It's been another fun episode. Started with bream, but the bream weren't quite as strong as they were last time. Maybe I've started to fish them out of that spot a little bit. I mean, we kind of have recorded 3 episodes within a 5-6 hour time period, I think. Okay, so to make wheat grain, all we need is wheat grain, and I think I want to do about 5. I can't imagine we'll need much more than that. Is that what we need for it? No, that can't be right. Is that right? Oh, that's way too expensive. I mean, we can do 1 just to have that bait. By the way, this is what you want to use. What level do you have to be? 15%. This is what you want to use. I'm going to go ahead and get 50 of it to level up your ground bait once you reach 15%. All right, am I going to do this? Seriously? That is so expensive. When did they have increased the prices on that? And I think I remember that happening a long time ago, and it just didn't stick with me. Can you just straight up buy wheat grain? Isn't that what we're making? Nature wheat seeds? Is that what you're making with that? Or is it different? It looks the same, right? It's the same thing. It's got to be the same thing. I'm not going to spend that kind of silver on it. It's just not worth it. I'd rather make more semolina or whatever. All right, let's go try this. 87. This is a part of Mosquito that we haven't been to in this series, so that's kind of fun. And we need to switch everything back over to. Oh, let's check Cafe. Oh, no lucky rough. We do have a really possibly reasonable bream. Yeah, let's go check this roach spot though. We're going to 87. We cross the bridge and take a hard right. This could just be a random. This might not be anything, or it could be a really good roach spot. We made so much silver, and then we just spent so much silver. But we're doing something that's going to help us make a lot more silver, which is leveling up our bait harvesting. Okay, so this is where we're launching from. We want to switch back to our bream setup, basically, except we're going to have roach mix on there, and we want to be at a 15 clip. I'm thinking just straight out. I mean, I think it's just straight out here. That might not quite have made it. And then this one will go to 6. Make sure this one makes it. See if it looks the same. And this one, I think 14 would be more interesting to try as the third one. So it looks similar, but I think the middle rod is out. The line's a little different. So I'm guessing this one is more like 13 meters out. So we'll give it a couple minutes. If that's the only one not catching fish, we'll throw it back out farther. 30.7. Boy, that's a nice spot to get there out of nowhere. All right, so we're ready to start making semolina, right? Tastes like childhood. 30.9. We're going to have to make a lot. We'll just do 5 right now. And then check our lines, see if we can dig again. This might be a work in progress to get to garlic dough. If we keep hitting points every time, that helps though. Alright, we're up to 31.7. Well, that is certainly a good sign how quickly we've got 2 fish on. If it's a decent roach spot, you don't expect it to take a long time to get bites. And now we can use classic hair rig. Okay, so far so good. Yeah, I wish we had known about this spot maybe 5 levels ago. I would have loved to have spent some time during the day, especially hitting roach and then fish for Crucian gibbles or bream at night. That's always a good combination. So if you're lower level still or just want to do some more relaxed fishing, if this spot ends up being pretty promising, then it might be the way to go. Setting all kinds of records. And if you're wondering, we would need to cast about 28 meters to actually get into that hole, the 8-meter hole there. So we're about halfway, a little more than halfway to the hole with this 15-meter clip. But that's not unusual for a roach spot. Now if we want to switch over to bream, once it's like evening, just to see if bream are active here, that's, you know, that's something we could look at. That's a nice roach. But with these fairly crappy feeders we have, and light feeders, it's going to be hard to get there. I'm going to take a chance, run back to town, hope nothing pops my leader. Or line. Or rig. the way those rigs are set up. I just want to see how much sinkers are, how much nicer feeder cages are. I don't know that we're going to buy. So I really like these. They do have the 40 gram in stock. We could at least get one of these and then get a couple, or get another larger one of these so that all 3 have at least 30 grams of weight on them. We'll cast them a little more consistently. I think that's okay. We'll slowly upgrade our feeder cages to these nicer ones. They're supposed to be a little more camouflaged. I really don't know how much it impacts fishing. But it may a little bit. All those Simmons ones, the ones that were even a little bit more expensive, those are all newer ones. They seem to work really well too. I just, for the longest time, what I used was what we just purchased, because those were the nicest ones available. We're getting into some decent sized roach here, if that's what this is. Wow. Alright. I don't want to put stuff back in the water because we're rotating feeders around, I think. Then we'll throw it back in. We don't want to wait long, but... Is there a fish on here? Yeah. Okay. So we're going to put the nice one on rod 1. We always want to have our nicest on the first rod, just to make it easier to notice, like if we catch something really nice on the first rod, we remember that the nicer stuff is there. And then we cast it back out with the new cage. And make sure this one has the heavier cage. So everything should cast a little more evenly. The second and third rod should be exact. Okay. There we go. Can we make roach mix? Yeah. All right. And really, if we were using like size 10 hooks on all three, we'd have just as good a chance, I think, at catching a trophy, and the bite rate would probably be a little better. I don't know why. I mean, I don't think going all the way up to a large one hook with roach is going to change your results that much than using a 6 or a 10 or an 8 or whatever. I mean, if that's already a big hook for a roach. But I could be wrong. I mean, if I tell you what, if we catch a trophy on line 1, I'm going to blame it on the new feeder, not the size 1 hook. But we'll see. We shall see. Yeah, it's another nice one. I mean, when you're consistently catching roach at this size, like I said earlier in the series, it does add up all right. I mean, it's okay. This is just nice roach after nice roach. This might be a small bream. It's just, I don't know. It could be a small roach, but it just looks a little different. Yeah, it is a roach.
Banana! We're waiting.
All right. Only so much time left till the roaches start scattering away. Just keep hoping one of these, even if it's not a trophy, I'd love to see a 1 kilo roach come out here. It's got to happen quick though. It's going to happen. Well, we just need a couple more. Those bream. Oof. Is that a bream? That can't be a roach, right? Look how hard that's pulling. Hope it doesn't break something. I was just pulling. It's not that big. Okay. It was just determined. Yeah, it's a little too quick. Ooh, nice one. Is a big one going to try to come in here at the end? That's a lot of roach in a short amount of time, by the way. Very good spot. Oh, fish got away. It's going to be on this one. Guarantee you. It's probably on there forever, and I just didn't pull. It's going to get really quiet here on Roach very soon. I think there's a fish on there. It swam straight for us. Okay, size 6, pearl barley, Bream mix. We're gonna full cast it. I just want to see real quick, are there any... Oh, it went 30. It's amazing. Are there any actually in that 8-meter hole over there, up there? Any Bream? Oh, freaking kidding me. All right. Go 28 on that one. It's a different ground bait, so we got to make sure it's cast in a pretty different spot than the first one's at. And I'll probably keep this first one in the same spot with the Roach ground bait just to see if they bite a little bit longer than I expected. It's another nice one, and we got bottom points. So the second, third rod are cast 28 and 30 meters. The first rod's still at 15. Okay, so no bites. I think we should move over. I mean, we have the one Bream. Can we get 2 more now that we have 3 rods that we can try to hit Bream on all 3 in our little Bream spot? Maybe. So let's go give it a try. I mean, I'm going to wait here another second. Make sure we don't get... This would be a long time to not have a single bite, right? If Bream were even a little bit active. I think we just move in. The only thing we want to change on this one is the ground bait. It's just too much silver to not at least try it, right? Kind of a long run, but what are you going to do? It's definitely faster to go back this way, I think. We might also catch them from over here. I just don't know. I'd rather have a chance at the spot we know works somewhat. It's not a great spot, but it somewhat works. We've got a chance of hitting 2 more 1 kilos instead of just trying something with very little time to do it. Y'all remember what clip we were using here? I think it was like 15. How are these Mosquito Bream gonna feel about a hook that size? I don't know. This is the first time we've ever fished this spot with, by the way, did that go in the water? Yeah. With three rods set up for bream. The most we had ever done before was 2, with 1 still catching rough. It's not an exploit. People just talk about stuff they don't know. Maybe we have a chance. I don't know. This could be number 2. And then we would just need number 3. Right? So 2 possible fish getting on here. Not sure that either one are on. And I don't want to mess it up for sure. Has there ever been a more valuable 1 kilo bream? We just need 2 of them here to hit that order. What's going to be funny is if we get it and then we get over there and the cafe order's expired. All right, it looks like this fish just swam towards the shore. Yeah. Okay, if it's a bream, we're good. It's 1 kilo. Right? Oh, yes. All right, we are 1 away. Come on, party time. Let's get it. We still have plenty of time left on really nice bream time. Same thing. Fish swam. This is just too small, though. It's not even a bream. Oh, that could be it. Large 1 hook might be winning here. Go get it. Oh, I think it's on. Let's give it a second and make sure. See if it's pulling the line. Yeah. Now what size are you? Oh yeah, if you're a bream, you're the winner. Chicken dinner. You might actually be too big. You might be an eyed. You might be too big. You might pop off. Don't want to pop this fish off. Got a nice hook on here. This is why we bought these hooks, to give us a better chance to hang in there. Alright, it's starting to look promising. If this is a bream, it's 2.5, 3 kilo, right? And this is a bream. Just making sure it wasn't an eyed. .6 on Mosquito. We're getting a little greedy here, but now I want another one so that we don't have to use that one for the order. Oh, shoot. I didn't see that line was all slacked up. This might be another eyed, though. No, it's just too small. It's funny, like, we haven't caught a single fish. Unless it was, like, just an eyed sitting there on the third one. Did the third one get cast weird? Is that the one that I was like, is that even in the water? Let's recast this. Let's make sure we get it out in the water this time. I mean, it was in the water, but it might not have been in the spot where the bream are coming out. It was so far left. So I did put another point into fishing with a feeder rod. So we're 4 on that, 4 on this. We're getting there. Well, we might not get another one. We also have gone really long in this episode, so need to wrap this up soon. This could be the one. Nah, it's too small. Finally, third rod's getting a fish too. All right, if one of these would just be a kilo, please. That's not a kilo. That's not even half a kilo. And this might not even be a bream. Ugh. I think these mosquito bream are a little weird if you ask me. This spot is not terrific, but it's not terrible either. It's a little weird. There definitely can be healthier bream spots at Mosquito, but bream spots at Mosquito, in my experience, are not as consistent and not always there. Like it seems like there's always somewhere at Oldberg that you can do pretty well on bream. There we go. I think this is it. I think this will be just at a kilo. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful bream. Okay. I kind of want to see if we get a trophy. Not that we're going to get a trophy, but do you really stop bream fishing when you're at 6:15 in the morning? But we're going to go turn that cafe order in. It's a tough time to like take your bream baits out of the water. I mean, we could still get a couple of really nice bream. Okay, so first of all, we've made 70 silver here, 32. So just on Roach, we've made 37 silver. I'm telling you, if you can farm Roach during the day and bream at night and you're close by and it's just easy, that is not a bad way to go. But this is the daggum best 51 silver ever, right? And then I guess we might as well do this. They're all a little chunky, but it's still probably better to get 6 silver that way. We didn't catch Crucian here. Yeah, so I think we're good. Let's go check our lines. Let's see. We'll just sell fish now. So we've got 50 more silver. We are doing really well. And then I'll just end it. Unless we have like a big old fish on, we'll just end it after we bring our rods back in. Like, I'm not saying it's what we're saving for immediately, but we're not that far away from thinking about Saber 60s or Pulsar 6000s. Seems like a lot of silver, right? 12 to 1500 silver. But if you think about 100 silver a day or more, and you settle in on a good bream spot, get some good spin fishing in, catch fish during the day some, it doesn't take that long to get there. Although we could go to 7.5 instead of waiting all the way till Saber 60s. You can actually use 7.5 kilo reels to start spin fishing at Quarry. And that way you're going a lot sooner rather than saving forever to get those. It's not forever, but it feels like a long time to get the sabers going. So I don't know. We'll just kind of feel it out, see how we're doing. But, you know, and I also don't guarantee how far we're going to go in this leveling guide. I mean, I'll wake up one day and just be like, I'm good. We're grinding it out, and we could be playing our main account. So we'll see. Right now, I'm still having fun. I think the spin fishing has helped just to kind of mix something a little different, new into the mix. But it is 7:45. This still could be a decent fish, but I'd say it's a little late. It's not bad. It's a runner. Yeah, you really want this to be a bream and not an eyed. I mean, if it wants to be a trophy eyed, that's fine, but a much smaller eyed can do this to you than bream. I'm going to walk it down a little bit. It's kind of going over into this little side area, which is fine, but yeah, go back in that direction. We don't mind that at all. I think we're at this point kind of counting on the fact it's going to get tired before it would actually have a chance to run out of the lake. Over there under that bridge. But just to be on the safe side, we might need to start walking that way. It sure looks like that's where he's headed, doesn't it? And this is going to be painful because we do have to walk this way a little bit. Let's just hold on a second here. Do we really have to do this? Or can we start pulling it in? Oh, goodness. It is like making a beeline. Now, I've sort of pushed him towards that, but it just never felt like this fish was going to have enough strength or endurance to actually go too far over there. So I think we're fine, but by coming down this way, we sort of guaranteed it was going to run that way. He's giving us a lot of line back at this point, though. I don't think we're going to hit the anything over there, like a dock or anything. Let's kind of make sure, but where is he? He's under the boat? He's coming straight for us. We're fine. What have we caught here? Or I guess we haven't caught it. We haven't landed it. What do we have on? Just the whole time felt more like an eyed than a bream. If it's a bream, it's such a nice one that I'm shocked it's here at Mosquito, but it just felt more like an eyed the way it was running. It ran either like a trophy bream or like a angry 3 kilo eyed. It's neither. I know what it is now. Well, we haven't hit one of these. We fished this spot a lot. And this is the first time we've seen one of these. But I guess it is possible. And this is what, even when it was old Mosquito, this is what would run you all over the lake. Just every once in a while, you hook into a 3 kilo common carp. And you feel like your life has ended. You feel like your life is over. Okie dokie. Interesting. Common carp in the Mosquito bream spot. $164 silver. Let's look really quick. I know we've already gone long, but I'm curious if any of them are in stock. If you don't want to save all the way for the Saber 60 Pulsar, actually some people like this rod a lot, this reel a lot. What level do you have to be? 15. And the Saber 60 is 16. This is kind of a good middle ground though. If you want to get more power. What I was going to say though, one of the best values has always been this, the Adriatica 7.5 at 449. It is definitely a middle step. It doesn't feel like a full step up from what we're using now, but it's powerful enough that you can survive trolling at Quarry. You can use them for trying to hit burbot on feeders. It's just not ideal. So you're spending 549 silver for a reel that long term doesn't really have a place. It's a little too strong for the small fish. It's a little too weak for the medium sized fish. So it doesn't feel good in the long run, but you also, like, how long do you want to save for? This is another good option. A little cheaper than the Supercast, but similar. Those are really the options that I would consider. The Pride is, it also is 7.5, a little nicer, but it's the same power as the Adriatica, just 100 silver more. So it's never completely made sense to me if the Adriatica is in stock, which I think the Adriatica is a lot less popular. Used to, the Adriatica was always out of stock at low level maps. But I think more and more new players are watching people carp fish. They want to get to carp fishing as fast as they can. And they feel like if they save up for Saber 60s, they at least have a chance to start dipping their toes in the water. And the Saber 60s are reels that you will use the whole time you play this game. Like, they'll always have a place somewhere in your inventory, in your fishing gear. So, all right. As always, thanks for watching. I will see you next time. If we get to another episode tonight, I think I'll probably just focus on spin fishing, Belaya, and or winding or something. We'll see. But we've done good. It's been a good day, especially with figuring out some bream spots and leveling up our bait harvesting a little bit, which we still have more semolina to make. All right, as always, thanks for watching. Tight lines, everybody.